Good evening and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here at St. Croix for round 2 of the GTMC Season 3. And how exciting is this race going to be around the twisty French Lake? The GTMC consists of 2 races, a sprint race and a feature race. The sprint race will be in Group 4 cars, and the feature race, which is a 40-minute race, but the sprint race is a 15-minute race, and the feature race is a 40-minute race in the same chosen manufacturer, but Group 3. So after qualifying, let's just have a look how the grid looks. They qualified for 10 minutes in the Group 4 cars around St. Croix B. So on pole we have I.R. Graham in the Audi TT. He did a 2 minutes 15.777. He led the field by 0.890 seconds. From this man, second on the grid, Matt Psycho in the Peugeot RCZ, posting a time of 2 minutes 16.667. Third on the grid is the second Audi, Liam Anfield in the 13 car. He was 0.053 seconds behind Matt Psycho with a 2 minutes 16.720. Fourth on the grid is Matt Psycho's teammate in the second Peugeot, Little GG's, setting a time of 2:16.770, just 0.050 seconds behind Liam Anfield. So the FF cars very tight up the top there. The first non-FF car is Eleanor Elevate in the BMW M4. He set a time of 2 minutes 17.517, some 7.5 tenths down from Little GG's. In 6th place we can see the Nissan GTR of Homesick Alien, setting a time of 2:17.875, 0.358 seconds behind 5th place Elevate. 7th on the grid is Homesick's teammate in the other Nissan, Gazman, setting a 2 minutes 18 second .230, 0.355 seconds behind his teammate. Then 8th on the grid is Racer Brown in the Toyota 86, setting a time of 2:18.331, just a tenth behind the Nissan. In 9th place we have the second BMW of LNR Kale, setting a time of 2:18.449, which was a tenth behind Racer Brown. In 10th place we have Shadow Rider in the Mercedes. Over here he is. I'll just catch up with myself. In the Mercedes, I said that bit. Setting a time of 2:18.864, some 4 tenths behind Kale. In 11th place we see the first of the Lexis with VRC Alpha setting a time of 2:18.935, just 700ths behind the Merc of Shadow Rider. In 12th we see Guesty in the second Toyota 86, setting a time of 2:19.227, just under 3/10 behind Alpha Nut. In 13th place we see the second Lexus of VRC Skyjacker, setting a time of 2:19.407, just under 2/10 behind Guesty. So the Lexuses don't look like the French circuit. 14th in the Aston Martin we have Jim One Wise, setting a time of 2:20.249, 8.5 behind Skyjacker. And then in 15th we have Noxie in the Ford Mustang, setting a 2:20.726, some nearly just under 5/10 behind Jim One Wise. And in 16th the second Ford Mustang of Jam Huntington, setting a time of 2:21.087, some 3.5 behind his teammate. Still getting used to the wheel, sorry. So that's our grid. Doesn't look like the Fords look too happy around the French track, and neither do the Lexuses, Lexis, whatever the plural is for Lexus. So without further ado, we'll get underway with the race, the sprint race, that is, the 15-minute one. Hang tight. So here we are, staring at the grid, watching IR Graham, waiting for the lights to turn red. We can't see him. Can we see him from that direction? Not really. And there, go, IR Graham pulling away, but there we can see Elevate coming through. My word, did Elevate come through there. He's come through to the lead, and so is Homesick Alien. We have to remember Homesick Alien qualified in 6th and Elevate was in 5th. They've come through. Elevate leading the race there from IR Graham. Homesick Alien in 3rd, Matt Psycho 4th, Gazman just moving up to 5th, ahead of Little GG. Is he quite? Where did Liam turn out? Liam Anfield down into 7th place. Oh my word. Shadow Rider is in 8th. Kale is in 8th, sorry. He's just moved ahead of Shadow Rider. VRC Skyjacker is in 10th. Alphanut 11th. Racer Brown is in 12th. Jam Huntington 13th. Jim Wise, Noxie, Guesty. So back up front then we can see Elevate pulling away from IR Graham. Matt Psycho's in 3rd, closely followed by Homesick Alien. It looks like Little GG's got past the other Nissan, and it looks like Liam Anfield's looking for a way past now. The clear pace of those FF cars, trying to make a move but not quite there, and he's nudged the barrier as Liam. That's going to cost him. Kale looking for a way past. Behind, it's all bunched up here. Kale just up and there alongside. No, he's looking for a way. They're side by side all the way through the long right-hander, but it looks like Liam has just edged ahead of Kale, and Gazman is there out of the draft. Tow, gone all American on you there. To Gazman, he's alongside with Shadow Rider up his inside, and Skyjacker looking for a way past. God, this race is manic. They're all over the place. IR Graham has taken the lead. We should go and check that out, I think. So we'll nudge back a couple. We did it a bit ago. Oh my, because we were watching all that. So here we can see IR Graham following Elevate with Matt Psycho and Homesick Alien. See, Elevate nudged the barrier there, which gave IR Graham the opportunity to get past in his Audi. And it does look nice. I like the plain striped look about it. So Elevate then down into seconds, with Matt Psycho still holding that 3rd place ahead of Homesick in the Nissan, and Little GG's is following him, trying to get a tow. Back there we can see what we already saw with Liam Anfield ahead of Kale. Oh, they're tightly contesting this race, aren't they? Oh, a little nudge between Kale. Oh. So there, oh, Liam's really out wide there. It's all bunching up behind them. My gosh. Who shall we choose? Who's at the back of that little queue? It's Shadow Rider, but he's... let's have a look, see if we can do this. So, sitting on board in 12th place with Shadow Rider. I mean, not Shadow Rider, Racer Brown, I apologise, in the Toyota, looking for a way past Shadow Rider, really close to the back end of Gazman. Shadow Rider's still showing ahead of us, but no, we've had a tap. Got to give Lip Racing room, and just behind us we can see Jam Huntington coming past Shadow Rider in the rear view mirror. So we'll get out of this. There's so much action going around, I can't follow it all. It's unbelievable. Look at this, the Lexus. So Elevate's dropped loads now. That Psycho's in second. What do I watch? This is crazy. And Little GG's just behind, so I can't go and watch anywhere else because there's so much happening. So where did we see it from? That's about it. Elevate is in second, Matt Psycho is in third, Little GG's just got ahead of Homesick Alien. It looked like a good move, it's worth watching. So we've not even got past lap 1 yet. I've gone backwards half a dozen times. I don't know what to watch. So here we are, we're watching Little GG's. Let's get on car with him as he makes a move on Homesick Alien. Liam Anfield's just behind Little GG's now, so we can see the move is, they were side by side all the way along that straight. Homesick Alien's on the inside, Little GG's trying to go around the outside. He's looking for the move of the inside now. Does he make it stick? He's got it, he's got the inside line. And all Homesick Alien can do is slip in behind and try and grab the toe of that very speedy Peugeot. Ooh, right there, far out on the grass. So we saw that happening. Then we want to know how Elevate drops down from second place. So up ahead, I.R. Graham. Oh, Elevate had to pay a penalty. Oh dear, painful for Elevate, painful. So that's how Matt Psycho and Little GG's ended up in a second and third, and they're looking like they're going to start racing each other. Little GG doesn't want to hang around in this 15-minute race. We finally got ourselves onto the second lap. We'll have a look around the field and see how much more we have to do of a replayage. But for now, we're hoping we can stick to what we've got. So here we can see the top three. I.R. Graham has bounced. He's gone. He's left them guys behind. Matt Psycho just ahead of his teammate Little GG, but Little GG's adding the pressure. Homesick Alien is under immense pressure from Elevate now, but Elevate's carrying another penalty. He can't avoid the penalties. He's really struggling around the French track, going up and down hills, staying. Oh, Homesick Alien slid out and nearly hit that barrier, just going onto the bridge, and now Elevate's up the side of him. Kale is ahead of Liam Anfield just about. So they're having a ding dong. Everyone's having a ding dong. There we can see Elevate just trying to get past the Alien, but the Alien's holding line. And there we can see the Audi has got ahead of the BMW, going round to the long winding right-hander, always going downhill. Then you're met with that horrible barrier at the end of it. See, Elevate just had a little nudge with the barrier, moved off line, and that is how Liam Anfield got ahead of him. So let's have a look a bit further down to see what's going on. So Kale is just ahead of Alpha Nut. Jam Huntington in 9th is ahead of Gazman and Skyjacker. These three locked in a battle. We saw these guys, they were all bunched up for the longest of times. It looks like they're really getting down to some beautiful racing here. So Alpha Nut is in 7th. 8th, it looks like Kale and Alpha Nut are having a ding dong. Look at this, let me go back, sorry, I apologise. So we're watching Alpha Nut looking up the inside of the BMW. The BMW's out wide. Alpha Nut makes the move, he makes it stick, but then Kale's up the inside of him for the next corner, but Alpha Nut has got the inside line. He's trying to make it stick. but all the way along the BMW is keeping up with the Lexus. The BMW's edged forward, but again Alpha on the inside, but no, the Beamer, there you go, Alpha finally makes it stick, sitting in front of Kale in that Beamer is rather fast and will be coming back at the nuts. Meanwhile, in the back there we can see Gazman leading that troop of cars. We'll have to watch. We're just keeping an eye on this. So there we go. We've finally made it to the third lap, and Elevate we can see there to the right paying a penalty. So that puts Alpha Nut up to 6th place. To say Alpha Nut, we saw qualified in 11th. He's really going great guns, but we can see Kale's coming. No, that's Elevate. Elevate's coming back at Alpha Nut. Alpha Nut's not got the job done yet. He has now under braking, surely. But Elevate's looking for another way round up the inside of him. Little GG's meanwhile has moved up to 2nd place at the front. We've got to go up the front to have a look. And then we'll probably have to rewind after the race to watch that battle. I should have just broadcast this live. I was trying to do something different and it's crazy. So Alpha Nut ahead of the 2 BMW. So in first we have IR Graham. He's going beautifully on lap 3. He did the fastest lap out of everyone on the second lap with a 2:17.526 in 2nd place. We have Little GG. He's got quite a bit of penalty there ahead of his teammate Matt Psycho. We saw them too. Matt Psycho ahead of Little GG. I don't really know how far to go back to watch the overtake because we've been watching a lot of battling. I'm losing track of where I am in this race. So Matt Psycho then in 3rd place ahead of Liam Anfield in the Audi. He's come through, dropped right back off of the grid, and now he's up into 4th place fighting for a podium position. In 5th place we have Homesick Alien in the Nissan. Oh my gosh, no, oh my gosh, Liam having a big off there. So Liam having a big off, Homesick coming up to him. He's a sitting duck, Liam. There's not much he can do, but yes, he's holding that position. Homesick Alien not managed to get past Liam Anfield with Liam Anfield's mistake there. Oh, back again. We can see Elevate is not ahead of Alpha Nut. Alpha Nut is ahead of Elevate. Oh, that might have been the move we were just watching. No, we didn't go back. So Alpha Nut looks like he's going over to pay a penalty. And Elevate taking 6th place. Kale taking 7th. Alpha Nut trying to slip back into 8th. Gazman in 9th. He's pulled away from that battle. We saw Jam Huntington is ahead of Skyjacker, who's in 11th. Oh, we saw, I think Racer Brown, was it, going a big off then? Yeah, oh my lord. Racer Brown's dented every corner of his Toyota. He saw that advert. No, it doesn't work because that was Peugeot, who had the elephant sitting on the bonnet of something to make it look like a Peugeot, but that didn't work. So Racer Brown dropping down to 14th place after that massive spin. We'll not look down here. So 13th Guesty is Racer Brown's teammate. He's ahead of his teammate. He's racing Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider is in 12th position, just chasing down Jam Huntington in the other Ford, who's battling with Skyjacker right now across the bridge, trying to decide who's going to finish in 10th. Alpha Nut down to 9th. What's happened there? Oh, he paid a penalty, didn't he? It looks like the Nissan has caught him up and got past him. So Gazman going great guns there, up to 8th place ahead of the Lexus, but the Lexus has got something to say about it. It's coming back at him down the straight. The Lexus and the Nissan, 2 very powerful units there, chasing into the first corner. Not first corner, sorry. I'll tell you when the first corner is. I haven't done a lap guide or anything, but you know, it's been the racing. Look at these two, they're in and out of each other. So Alpha Nut is ahead of Gazman. Let's have a look around then. Skyjacker has got ahead of Jam Huntington, but only just with Shadow Rider in trail. Let's look for Shadow Rider and get on board. But just behind him, Guesty is also in this group. Where were you going? So Guesty looks like he's just got ahead of Skyjacker. Looked like Skyjacker made a mistake there. He's put himself to the back of this little group. Guesty hit the wall, giving Skyjacker a chance to come at him in the first corner. And we're going to go on board with Skyjacker. No, this is Racer Brown. Oh, that's a cool wheel. What car's that? The Toyota. So we were going to go on board with Skyjacker, who's in 12th. This is Skyjacker. Oh my gosh. You see Shadow Rider having a huge off there. And now behind us we can see we've got Guesty in 12th and Shadow Rider in 13th. What a battle down here for the smaller points. They still are racing tooth and nail. Jam Huntington looks like he's starting to get used to that steering wheel a bit more. I was going to do a lap guide. Oh, we're coming up over the bridge, looking to make a move on Jam Huntington. We'll get out of the car and have a look at the lovely goodness. Matt Psycho is ahead. Matt Psycho, has that happened recently? No. Looks like it happened a bit ago. So I've gone back about 30 seconds and Matt Psycho was already ahead of Little GG. I'm not sure why. IR Graham miles ahead. He's doing 17s every lap. He's consistent as hell in that Audi. Matt Psycho did an 18 on his last lap and 2 19s before that. Little GG, we don't know how he's dropped behind Matt Psycho, but his last 2 laps were in the 20s. Liam Anfield in 4th. His last lap was an 18. He did a 19 before that and an 18 before that. So Liam Anfield trying to close down on the last podium position still. Homesick Alien in 4-wheel drive Nissan. He's having a bit of a lonely race it seems at the moment. Not quite near Liam Anfield, and he hasn't got Elevate for company. Elevate down here in 6th with his teammate Kale for company. 6th and 7th for the BMWs. There's Gazman, Homesick Aliens teammate, down in 8th, ahead of Alphanaut, chasing him down. Alphanaut having a massive clash with that wall. He's chasing down Gazman in the Lexus. Here we can see where the battle lies. It's Jam Huntington, Skyjacker, Shadow Rider and Guesty all racing each other. So Guesty, oh God, right. Yeah. So I'm dying to see some in-car stuff and I have to keep coming out. So we're sitting on board with Guesty. We can see there that Skyjacker finally made the move on Jam Huntington, but Jam Huntington is up to the side of Skyjacker. We're sat in Guesty's Toyota. It's a great steering wheel, by the way, trying to get past these 4 cars in front of us, because there's 3 cars in front of us. We're up the side of Shadow Rider. Got a great drive out of that last corner. And we're looking for Jam Huntington up the inside. Go on, Guesty. Come on, my son, get on it. Skyjacker's going slow in front of us. We're in Jam Huntington's toe. We're going up, we're going up, we're going up. We're into 11th. Come on, Guesty, get on it. Where are we? We're 12 minutes into this race. Oh, Skyjacker. But, oh, Shadow, they've all come past us in the braking zone. So, but Skyjacker is alongside us. Shadow Rider has got ahead of us. This racing is relentless between these 4. Skyjacker and Guesty alongside each other. Guesty on the outside maintains it ahead of Skyjacker. He's chasing down Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider just behind Jam Huntington. The race for 10th place here is tight as a duck's buttocks bumhole. So there we go, Shadow Rider in 11th, chasing down Jam Huntington with Guesty trying to find a way past. Let's have a look up the field then. Little GG's back ahead of his teammate. Shall we try? Shall we try? We'll dip. Oh my lord, we should try, because something cracking's going on here. How far back should we go? So Little GG's there, is in 3rd place. We can see it's getting very tight between Matt Psycho in 2nd, Little GG in the 2nd Peugeot. Little GG having a look at his teammate. They're alongside each other. This is all happening at the same time as the stuff we've just been watching, so I jump back about 30 seconds. So there we go, Lil GG's moving up into second place, Matt Psycho in third, but Liam Anfield there in fourth. He's caught the two Peugeots up, and he looks like he wants to jump both of them. Oh, we had a big clash with the barrier there, and it's let the Peugeots just get away from us a little bit. So looking through the field, we have IR Graham leading by, gosh, quite a lot, half a straight maybe there, and we have Little GG's just ahead of his teammates. These two have been swapping places, second and third all the way round. It should be, you know, on a different day in a different race. I would have watched these two for most of the race, but there's so much action up and down the field. I'm trying to get all of it in and paint a picture of how this race is going. So IR Graham leading from the very first lap, literally. Little GG's in a battle with his teammates, second and third. It's not decided between these two. We're into the 14-minute mark. We've only got a minute left of this unbelievable race. Liam Anfield is in fourth place. Homesick Alien, pretty much fifth place the whole race, all on his lonesome. Here you can see, just coming into the distance, is Elevate ahead of his teammate Kale. Down here we've got Gazman just ahead of Alphanut. These two have been battling for a while now, and haven't decided who's going to finish 8th and who's going to finish 9th, but Gazman has been in 8th, it seems, for a bit. Shadow Rider now is ahead of the pack. There's four that haven't stopped racing from start to finish. You'll have to check out for the replay, VRC GTMC tags, and just watch this replay just to watch these four, because how entertaining has this been. Shadow Rider from Jam Huntingdon. No, now it's Skyjacker in 11th, behind Shadow Rider, ahead of Jam Huntingdon in 12th in the Ford Mustang, ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown's joined, Guesty's dropped back. Oh, gutted for you, Guesty. You were in there, but Racer Brown's replaced his teammate. Right, and let me get me pause button ready, because I don't want to get caught out. So, where was I? Sorry, Guesty. Jam Huntingdon, Racer Brown, Guesty is in 4th, so Noxie has crossed the line in the Ford Mustang. Let's go to the leaders now. He must be halfway around the lap. IR Graham on his final lap, hasn't put a foot wrong. Perfect racing. In second place, Lil GG and Matt Psycho. No, Matt Psycho is now in second, ahead of his teammate, just coming around. Coming up to the last sector of the track. Liam Anfield watching the two Peugeots. Oh no, there might be a coming together there. Matt Psycho and Liam. Liam's moved up to third, but is he going to let him back? He would, I would imagine, let Matt Psycho back through. Yes, there you go. Good sportsmanship there. Fantastic stuff. So Lil GG looks like he's got that second place finally off Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho fighting tooth and nail now with Liam to try and keep Liam behind him. So Homesick Alien in 5th, Elevate 6th, Kale 7th, Gazman in 8th. There we go. IR Graham's just crossed the line to take the win of the first race of the second round here at St Crux. Little GG's looks like he's taking a second place, the second podium. Liam got it off of Matt Psycho. Oh, sorry, we should go back and watch that. So I can't. I know we want to finish this race, but so Matt Psycho was in third, but here we can see, what is it, the very last corner, Liam on the outside. Wow, what a move. That's great stuff there from Liam, going across the line to finish in third. Matt Psycho 4th, Homesick Alien there just ahead of Elevate. Elevate quite caught him up, finished in 5th, Elevate 6th. Kale a little bit further back, paying a penalty. How far's Gazman back? Oh, Gazman's got to pay a penalty, so how far's Alpha back? So Kale 7th, Gazman's not crossed the line yet, and Alpha's going to cross. No, Gazman, Alpha got 9th, Shadow Rider 10th, got it, 10th, 11th. I think I'm alright. I think I've got them all. Shadow Rider 10th, Racer Brown 11th, Jam Huntingdon in 12th, ahead of Skyjacker in the end. Guesty looks like he's coming round for 14th, ahead of Jim Wise. I don't think Oh, okay. We'll nudge on and pause again, just to let Guesty get across. Who am I on board with? I want to stop it before Jim Wise gets there, don't I? So just Skyjacker's across. Guesty some cross check. Yeah, and now he has. So Jim Wise does finish in 15th. So that was your 15-minute race around St. Croix B. 7 laps it was, if you're wondering. Oh my god, I mean, we must have watched about 14 laps, the amount I had to keep rewinding for replays. So IR Graham won that race convincingly in the 54 Audi. Congratulations, IR Graham. Little GG finishing in 2nd place for Team Jedi Racing. It's great stuff. Liam Anfield just at the end getting the podium off of Matt Psycho for the 2nd Audi car. Matt Psycho in the Team Pug Jedi Racing 4th. Homesick Alien for Nissan in 5th. Elevate got 6th for BMW. Kale, his teammate, in 7th. Gazman 8th. Alpha Nut was in 9th. Shadow Rider in 10th. What an amazing, after his first round, finishing last in both races. That was a fantastic race, 10th place. Racer Brown 11th, had early woes, come back to join this little race club. First rule of that little race club is we don't talk about that little race club. So 11th for Racer Brown, ahead of Jam Huntington. It looks like he was battling with Skyjacker. Oh, that was a rubbish one. Ooh, that's even worse. Well, that's a bit better. It's in focus at least. That's Jam Huntington in 12th, ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker in 13th. 14th Guesty in the 2nd Toyota. Jim Wise in the Aston Martin, finishing in 15th. 16th Noxie in the 2nd Ford Mustang. Did not look like the Ford Mustangs enjoyed this track at all, so great stuff from the gang. Congratulations to that man, IR Graham. Pole sitter, race winner and fastest lap. Got all 3, IR Graham. Congratulations. So sit tight and we'll be back for race 2, the 40-minute race in the Group 3 cars. Hey now, so that was a fantastic sprint race, and we're lined up on the grid here for the feature race of the GTMC Season 3 Round 2 here at St. Croix. We're just lined up for the 40-minute race. In this race, 2 tyre compounds must be used. Little GG's fell foul of that last round and found himself disqualified from the race. So the choices of tyres are super soft, soft or medium. And yes, 2 tyre compounds must be used for a minimum of at least 3 laps. So, between the sprint race, just after the sprint race, the randomizer was turned on and it spat out the number 8. So, from position 8, the grid is reversed from the results of the sprint race. And as Gazman finished in 8th, he is your pole sitter in the Nissan Group 3 car. Yes, because they put the Group 4 cars away now and they've got the big beefy Group 3 cars out. In second place on the grid is Kale. 3rd, Elevate, his teammate in the BMW. On 4th we have Homesick Alien in the other Nissan. It's a quick starter, the BMWs and the Nissan quick starters. We have the Peugeot of Matt Psycho in 5th. In 6th, the Audi of Liam Anfield. In 7th we have Little GG's in the second Peugeot. In 8th we have IR Graham in the second Audi. In 9th we have Alpha Nut in the Lexus. In 10th we have Shadow Rider in the Mercedes. In 11th we have Racer Brown in the Toyota. In 12th we have Jam Huntington in the Ford Mustang. In 13th Skyjacker in the second Lexus. In 14th Guesty in the second Toyota. Then 15th Jim Wise in the Aston Martin. And then 16th we have Noxie in the Ford Mustang. So that's how the guys line up, ready for this 40-minute race around St. Croix. So let us get underway for the start of the race. So here we are, sitting on the grid, waiting for the lights to turn green. Gazman just holding on to the brake there, a little bit of throttle, waiting, and they're off. Gazman pulling away from Kale. Elevate looks like he had a bit of a slow start. Liam Anfield's coming through to 3rd place. Oh, there's so many cars in such a tight corner, so... Oh, where's the buttons? Liam out wide there, the 2 BMWs. Oh, Liam come flying in, crashing into Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien still got that 4th place though. The 2 BMWs, 2nd and 3rd. Homesick 4th. Liam Anfield 5th. IR Graham. Can you see him in amongst all of that? Alpha Nut is in 7th, but Little GG's is in 6th. Liam Anfield, oh no, we saw a spinner. Oh no, who do we see just spinning there? Oh, I can't see. Oh, it was Skyjacker. Oh dear. So there we go. Gazman leading from Kale, who's ahead of Elevate. Homesick Alien is in 4th. Liam Anfield 5th. Jumped Little GG's. Alpha Nut jumped a couple there. Alpha Nut started in 9th. He's up to 7th, ahead of IR Graham, but IR Graham's coming at him. Liam Anfield just ahead of Alpha Nut. Little GG's wasn't he? Oh, so that's Alpha Nut we just see getting past Little GG, sorry. Behind Little GG's, Racer Brown ahead of IR Graham. Matt Psycho behind IR Graham. Jam Huntington in 11th in the Ford. And that's Shadow Rider. Jam Huntington just been overtaken by Shadow Rider in the Mercedes. So in 13th, Jim Wise in the Aston Martin ahead of Guesty, who is ahead of Noxie in 15th, and Skyjacker just recovering from a spin. There we can see Gazman, looks like he's pulling a bit of space out. Oh my gosh, there's all sorts of racing going on here. Sorry, I'll flick back. So we can see here Homesick making a run on Kale. Somewhere Elevate got past Kale. Homesick just picked up a penalty, but it's gone already. He's in the middle of the 2 BMWs. Somehow Cal shuffled behind him. They're alongside each other. Ooh, very close. Such close racing, and now Cal is ahead of a Homesick Alien, but behind him, Racer Brown somehow got ahead of, oh my lord, what's happening down here? Alpha Nut, Liam Anfield, Little GG's. Oh, I don't know how Racer Brown got himself into 5th. We could have a quick, how many times we're going to flick back, I'm sorry. Racer Brown was back in 8th place. He just jumped up to 5th. Oh, there was something happened there with the other guys, wasn't there? So let's have a look. Who was that? Little GG's in 7th. Liam Anfield's. We're watching. He's racing. Alpha Nut. Liam Anfield. Alpha Nut. Little GG's. Looked like he bounced off of Alpha Nut. Looked like he bounced off of Little GG. Sorry. And that's how Racer Brown snuck past. It looks like, to find himself up into a 5th place. ahead of these Alpha and Little GG side by side, virtually the whole part of the track, followed by the two Audis. And there you go, Little GG's just pulls through. Ooh, Alpha, a little nudge on the wall. He's got Liam Anfield just behind him, and IR Graham looking for an opportunity. Look at that, it's amazing. Gasman's just run away from these guys, hasn't he? He can't even see any other cars. Yeah, Gasman's pulled himself a lovely little bit of space out. The two BMWs being chased by the Nissan. Oh no, Elevate looks like he just had a little touch of the barrier, and that has helped Kelf go through, and his Homesick going to manage to get through as well. He's having a look, he's got Racer Brown all over the back of him. Little G's a little bit further back from that, but no, it looks like Homesick Alien maintains, and Racer Brown is under pressure from Little GG's now. Little GG's coming, and oh god, I've left that bottom bit on, sorry, I do apologise. Little GG's coming to have a go at Racer Brown. It's happening all up and down the field. It's hard to keep Liam. We saw Liam was behind Alphanut. So Liam, it looks like he's got past Alphanut. There's Matt Psycho. I haven't seen where Matt Psycho is so far in this race. IR Graham. So there's Alphanut, who we saw that was ahead. Oh, sorry. He's in 7th there. Yeah, we saw him replacing Little GG's. There it looks like we can see, is it IR Graham trying to get past, or Liam Anfield? I think Liam Anfield's already got past. No, Matt Psycho's just, yeah, that was IR Graham that Alphanut was racing. He's just slow over the bridge, must have had a bad entry onto the bridge and lost a position to IR Graham and Matt Psycho. He's not careful, it looks like Shadow Ride. Oh, massive clash of the barrier a little bit further back. I didn't see who it was. Guesty, Racer Brown. Oh, maybe Jam Hunting then. Someone had a really bash. Where are we? We're on lap 2. Should start looking into their tyres. Keep an eye on who's got what on. You've got Gasman on the Super Softs. Kale ahead of his teammate, both of those decided to start on softs. Homesick Alien isn't giving them any breathing space. He also started on softs. That may be why Gasman has disappeared into the distance a little bit. Little GG's, he's on soft, racing soft, and Racer Brown in 6th place. He's lost a position to Little GG's. He's on super softs, so he wants to avoid those barriers. It slows you down a bit. Then Matt Psycho in the 2nd Peugeot, he's on just racing softs. He's got so much pressure from Liam Anfield behind him, who's also on the racing softs. Liam Anfield looks like he's going to make a move. It's a little bit too far back going into the first corner, but is he going to late break it? He's letting his presence be known, and both Audis sneak past Matt Psycho there. So the two Audis are like doing pincer attacks around the track, working in unison, fighting their way through the fields. It's a great display. It looks lovely, both of them together, line astern. Graham looking for a way past Liam Anfield as well. Matt Psycho sitting just behind them, ready to pick up the pieces. It looks like IR Graham had a nudge of that barrier as you're coming round onto the bridge, giving Matt Psycho the opportunity to get back ahead and Liam to pull away from these guys. Behind them, Alphanut in 10th place, catching up IR Graham with Jim on Wise in the Aston Martin in a fantastic 11th place. Kept himself out of trouble, it seems, and he can see himself in the top 10. He had a little nudge with the barrier. Behind him you've got Noxie and Skyjacker having a ding dong. Skyjacker popping himself back into the tow and looking for another way past the Ford. Skyjacker we saw with early woes. Lucky hit a barrier quite hard. Ended up quite far back in the field. There's a yellow flag, so someone's having enough. Oh, are these guys going to catch that up? No. Oh dear, Skyjacker lost a bit of control of the car and nudged Noxie. So let's have a look around the field. Gazman's still in first. Kale is ahead of his teammate Elevate, who's still got that pet. Oh no, Racer Brown. Oh, he's going. He's just getting off of the wall. He's back behind Homesick Alien. But yeah, somewhere along the way, Racer Brown got ahead of Little GG's and Homesick Alien. I can't keep rewinding them all the time. We'll never get anywhere. So Little GG's is in 5th, Racer Brown in 6th, Matt Psycho is in 7th, I.R. Graham is, so it's Liam Anfield's missing. Alpha Nuts, Jim Wise up to 10th. Yeah, it looks like Liam was the yellow flag. Liam Anfield, oh, do we want to rub it in? Should we have a quick look? It was, how long ago was it? Quite a while. There it is, sorry Liam. And yeah, he just asked a little bit too much from the Audi, went a little bit wide, and found himself coming around to meet himself, and he's put himself down into 11th spot. But the skill set of this man and his racecraft, he will not be in 11th for very long, I believe. So ahead there, Gazman sticking to his strategy perfectly, pulling away from the crowd. What's going on behind him? The 2 BMWs taking up the last 2 spots of the podium, with Homesick Alien tracking Elevate. Here we can see Racer Brown and Little GG's fighting each other tooth and nail. Can't decide on who's going to have that 5th place. So I know I'm fritting around, but I've got to see who's where. Matt Psycho is 7th, with I.R. Graham just following him. Alpha Nut is in 9th, with Jim Wise up into 10th. He's in the top 10 now. Liam Anfield we saw recovering from a spin in 11th, with Skyjacker just behind him. We know Skyjacker, he's got the pace. He's on the fastest lap at the moment. So Noxie is ahead of Shadow Rider. I don't know what happened to Shadow Rider. I didn't see why he put him back there. Jam Huntington, still getting used to the new wheel, I believe, is in 15th, with Guesty just following in the Toyota. So, 1.4 second penalty. He's got that in hand ahead of Kale, but he needs all the time he can, because he has to pit a lot earlier than the soft clad racing cars behind him. It's Kale sitting in lovely seconds, still racing behind. Oh, it looks like Homesick's dropped back a little bit, maybe picked up a penalty. So now Little GG's has moved up into 4th place, but Racer Brown wants that 4th. He smells blood, but no, he's still Homesick Alien going wild off the curb. So Homesick Alien trying to keep that Nissan under control. It's somewhat of a beast, so he's got his work cut out. And Racer Brown, his tyres still looking good. Like I said, it's a 40-minute race. We're only 8 minutes 40 seconds through it. Oh, what's this? Racer Brown having a go. Where's Elevate? Elevate's right down there. I was looking at the times and stuff, and I didn't see how Elevate dropped behind Little GG's. They caught them up nicely, haven't they, these cars behind? So it looked like the Beamers were in their own little world. So Elevate sitting quite happily in 3rd place. Oh no, I don't know, just under braking. Little GG's had him into the last corner. Well, yeah, it's last corner onto the start straight. Didn't see anything particularly strange, but yeah, Elevate just seemed to lose 2 positions in the last corner. And Homesick Alien now looking for a way. Oh, a bit of nudging from, who's that? Racer Brown. Racer Brown's just dropped behind Elevate and Homesick, so they've got ahead of Racer Brown. Let's see, we get in the car with Elevate here for a short while. You can see Homesick all over our rear view mirrors. We're just chasing down Little GG's. Gazman still leading this race. We're going into the bridge. It's so difficult, so tight getting into that bridge section. Doesn't look like we're getting much of a tow. Little GG's pulled out on the second BMW. He's made a move on the outside. Whoa! We had a little bit of oversteer kick in from Elevate, the Beamer, rear wheel drive, taking him by surprise. Tyre wear shouldn't be an issue. There's not barely any reds. So Kale just losing out to Lil GG. And this time we can see, with Racer Brown just behind. They're looking to try and get up the side, under braking, but no. Elevate's got it under control on the apex. You can see his teammate just ahead of him in third place. Little GG's is in second, chasing down Gazman now. And we've got a bit of breathing space while Racer Brown and Alien behind us are having a battle, having a ding dong. Ooh, get rid of that, sorry. We're nearly coming up to 11 minutes, this 40-minute race, so we've still got 29 minutes of this left to do. We haven't even got the pit stops underway. Let's have a look around then. So Matt Psycho sitting nicely in 7th place ahead, and Matt Psycho started on the grid in 5th, so he has lost a couple of positions. We didn't see what happened to him off the grid. And Alpha Nut is in 8th. He started 9th, so he's moved up a position. He'll be happy with that. I've got IR Graham behind him. The Audis, I thought they were going to be very dominant in this race, but it looks like they're a handful to drive. But as we're talking that, IR Graham putting in the fastest lap, or the fastest sector. Jim on Wise still in 10th place, ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider's now got ahead of Liam Anfield. Maybe Liam Anfield's pitted. Does look like his tyres. Yeah, he's put super softs on. He was on softs earlier. So Liam Anfield, we think, definitely on that last lap, maybe, has popped himself into the pits for an early stop. He had Skyjacker just chasing him down though, so did Skyjacker pit as well? Yeah. Also, we have had pits. We've had a couple of pit stops at the back. Jam Huntington, he's still on his super softs. He's not looking like he's interested in a pit stop yet. He's got about a quarter of a tank of fuel left. Noxie, his teammate, just behind him. And Guesty in the Supra in 16th. So ahead, Gazman has done everything right so far. Tyres, they're only just the tips of them are red, so he won't be feeling any pressure, I imagine, to come in at any time soon. But Lil GG's, since passing through the field, has pulled away from Cal. Oh my gosh, Elevate's dropped behind Racer Brown and Homesick, and he's under pressure from Matt Psycho, who's coming at him. So Elevate having a very interesting race. From second there we see the first Beamer, and then we see the second Beamer. So both BMWs have come in to pits. Alpha Nut is under immense pressure from IR Graham. Alpha taking the defensive line. They've got past the two Beamers in the pits, and IR Graham looking for another way up the inside. It's neck and neck. No, the Lexus still staying ahead of the Audi. So there we see Kale and Elevate coming out together, side by side virtually, of the pits, ahead of Shadow Rider, who's in 11th place. They've both put super softs on now, and they've put about 3/4 of a tank of fuel in. Gazman still not looking like he's interested in pitting. He's done 2:10 laps, 2 minute 10 second laps consecutively, but it does look like Lil GG's maybe catching him up on those soft clad tyres, but he has burnt a lot more fuel. Well, it's about 2 more laps more fuel than Gazman. Gazman doing a great job at the moment, leading the race. Lil GG's can see him there. Lil GG's did a 2:09.1. 2:08.533 on his last 2 laps. There's Gazman just keeping a nice consistent lap. So Homesick Alien up into 3rd. Oh yes, because of the pit stops of the BMWs. But Homesick Alien under immense pressure from the Peugeot and the Toyota in his Nissan, trying to stay ahead. Remember, Racer Brown, he's on the super softs and he has got no fuel, so I think we'll be seeing, after this last corner, we'll be seeing Racer Brown peeling off to come into the pit lane. I'm pretty sure of it. He wouldn't dare try and go around again, so there we go. Racer Brown. Little GG's also coming in. Oh, I missed him. 5. Yeah, he needed the fuel, so there we go. IR Graham. So Alpha Nut's also pitted as well, and that puts IR Graham up into 4th place. He's got a lovely amount of fuel. Tyre wear's not too bad, and the Beamers coming back up through the field after their pit stop. You can just see behind Elevate, Little GG's coming out of the pit lane ahead of Liam Anfield, who was one of the very early pitters, and that very early pit stop has put him ahead of Alpha Nut. There we can see Alpha Nut. Oh wow, Racer Brown's pit stop has really put him back. He's topped up though. He has proper topped up with fuel, so he has fueled up. But yeah, that's not a great position to come out of the pits. So leading the field, we've got the 2 Nissans in 1st and 2nd. Yet to pit, but it looks like Gazman will have to pit pretty soon. I wonder where he'll come out next to the guys around him. He did a 2:09.5 on his last lap, so he's got a bit more pace in that car. He's starting to push. Homesick Alien, a 2:09.9 on his last lap. He's only just ahead of Matt Psycho, who hasn't pitted. These guys, oh, Homesick Alien might be able to go another lap without pitting, but Matt Psycho and Gazman, we think, will be pitting. Looks like IR Graham has got a lap or 2 left. We're nearly coming up to 17 minutes. So not quite a one-stop strategy, I think. But maybe, if he can eke the fuel out, you never know. And there we see the 2 Beamers with their early pit stop racing each other. Elevate looking for a way past his teammate. No team orders in the HP Wheel Deal team. It's quite obvious they are free to race. BMW are quite happy. And why one day, there we go, Gazman has come in. We said he would have to come in. Homesick Alien has stayed out. Matt Psycho come in 2nd place. So we're looking at the Beamers. No, we're not. We should be. No, IR Graham stayed out. And in 5th, that's what we want. No, there you go. The Beamers coming through now. Kale ahead of Elevate. Little GG's. He's ended up behind the BMWs with their early stop. Gazman has ended up behind Little GG and the 2 Beamers. So the Beamers' early pit stops has put them in a perfect position. An absolutely fantastic position, but no. Yeah, and they've still quite good fuel. So it looks like the Beamers are on fire. Homesick Alien will need to pit at the end of this lap along with IR Graham. They're both thirsty for fuel, but the tyres don't seem too bad, those racing softs, so they probably make the racing super softs last even easier. So there we go, Kale ahead of Elevate. We think Kale will be leading the race after this lap legitimately, but they will have to pit a little bit earlier than Little GG's and Gazman, who was your leader of the race. Matt Psycho is in 7th, ahead of Liam Anfield, who is ahead of Racer Brown, who's got ahead of Alpha Nut. We saw him coming out the pits behind Alpha Nut, but has managed to get that super. Oh, the Lexus. She doesn't want to sit down, does she? She doesn't want to. He's got a red lap. I've never seen that happen before. Is it 2:10 point? Does that mean he's just pitted? Is that a new feature they've added? I don't know what that red. Why he's got a red lap on Alpha Nut in 10th place there, ahead of his teammate Skyjacker in 11th with Jim One Wise. Oh, he's down to 12th after the pit stops. So hopefully he can regain his 10th position. He's ahead of Noxie in the Ford Mustang, who is ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider's dropped back a bit after the pit stops. Guesty has got himself ahead of Jam Huntington. Now we can see Homesick Alien and I.R. Graham have come in, so we're watching Kale. They're already on the start straight. So Kale, your new race leader, third different one in 20 minutes. And Homesick Alien's just disappeared. He must have really fueled it up. Where did they come out then? Gosh, this I.R. Graham's still in the pits in 10th. There you go, Homesick Alien and I.R. Graham coming out together, melded as one car. Who's going to have the position? It looks like I.R. Graham is just going to edge it on the Alien. And behind them we've got Skyjacker recovering, and the early pit stops really pay well for people here. Skyjacker we saw really early pitting. Oh, Homesick Alien putting a wheel out there on the dirt. I.R. Graham now pulling away, and Skyjacker will be looking for an opportunity to get past the Nissan. I imagine they're both on super softs. I didn't look at the tyres on Homesick Alien. Going across the bridge, it looks like the Alien has regained his composure, and he's holding fast in 9th place ahead of Skyjacker, who we are sat on board with. Skyjacker's last lap was a 209.273, so he's going great guns now after his tragically early wall hit and spin in the early laps of this race. He's fought himself up to a 10th place. He's ahead of his teammate Alphanot. I don't understand what's happened with Alphanot. When we looked at him, his time was up as red. There we can see Homesick Alien making a move on I.R. Graham. Oh, that's Gazman. No, I'm going the wrong way. There you go, Homesick Alien ahead of I.R. Graham now. That Audi for I.R. Graham is a handful, it must be said. These guys might be one stopping as well, you know. I mean, we're 22 minutes into the race, so we've only got 18 minutes left of racing to go. And I.R. Graham, Homesick, put quite a bit of fuel in there. I.R. Graham's put the softs on. I'm not sure, did he start on the super softs? He may have done. Didn't write it down. But it looks like Skyjacker, who is on the super softs, is looking, and Homesick Alien is on the super softs. So I.R. Graham doing all he can to keep up with these guys on the slower tyre. Kale, I said he was your race leader. He's just done a 207.807, so he's nearly 2 seconds ahead of a lap faster than the guys we were just looking at. He's on the super softs. He's still got a bit of fuel to go yet. He will have to pit before the end of this race. Oh my, Elevate and Little GG are hard at it, racing. Little GG's caught up Elevate. It's lap 11. Oh, Elevate, give the barrier a little nudge there. That's going to help Little GG. Should get on board. In the Peugeot, sat with Little GG. He'll be wanting to get maximum points from this race after losing out from round 1. Oh, massive bash. Really misjudged his braking there. He's lifted and let Elevate carry on. He's got a bit of damage on the front of his car. It will wear off after a couple of corners. But yeah, really misjudged his I don't know the braking points. He might know that might be his braking point, but it's a lot later than Elevate's. So yes, Elevate and Little GG's fighting for the podium positions of 2nd and 3rd. Matt Psycho in 4th behind these guys. Shook out really well on the pits. There we can see. Looks like Little GG's going to try and make a move on the outside in the first corner. Oh, look at them, they're inches apart. My words. And there you go. What a great move from Elevate. He got himself back ahead of Little GG's. Fantastic battle these two are having. I want to go and have a look around, see what everyone else is doing, but these two, they're having a ding-dong of a race, so it'd be a shame to cut away. But so far, Elevate has got the answers for Lil GG. They're both on racing soft tyres, I believe, super soft tyres, I mean. Fuel tanks, Elevate's car's a little bit lighter than Little GG's, but that pure horsepower of the Peugeot down the straight, really, So Matt Psycho is in fourth, I can tell you that much. Little GG's trying to go around the outside of Elevate, but you know, there's barriers everywhere. It's risky. Everything's a risk. You can see the teammate of Matt's Little GG's in the background, Matt Psycho in fourth, ahead of Gazman, who's ahead of Liam Anfield, who's ahead of Racer Brown, who's ahead of Homesick Alien. And I will try and have a look, but at the moment there is one tough fighting battle we are watching here on lap 12 between Little GG in the Peugeot and Elevate in the BMW. So we saw Kale and Elevate put themselves up there in the earlier part of the race by making an early pit stop. Oh, it was a late one from Little GG's. Oh, Elevate hit the wall. They're both going into the pits. So they've both pitted. Oof, that was tricky. Kale stayed out. Matt Psycho has stayed out. He's got not much fuel. Racer Brown fighting Gazman. He's got past Gazman. And he's got about a quarter of fuel. Gazman, he's got loads of fuel. Quite a heavy car. Racer Brown, we saw, was on the super softs. He's on the softs now. And I think Gazman has changed from super soft to softs. So these two will be trying to get used to... Ooh, I thought Gazman was looking for a move up the side of Racer Brown. In the Nissan, Homesick Alien has got all sorts of pressure from IR Graham behind him. We saw these coming out of the pits together, so they've been racing all this time. So let's have a look what the view is like from IR Graham, sat in the Audi. We are 27 minutes into this race. What an interesting race it is as well. We think the Beamers will be pitting soon. Well, one Beamer has pitted. He's come out in 7th behind IR Graham. We're not sure if IR Graham and Homesick will be pitting again. So Elevate will have to try and get past them. Elevate and Little GG still together on the track. We'll have a quick look to see if they're just carrying on that immense battle. Both of them scraping the barrier. Elevate still ahead of Little GG, but Little GG's just putting on the pressure. Look, Jim One Wise is in 9th place ahead of Liam Anfield and Shadow Rider. So we've lost the Lexusers. There's Shadow Rider in 11th, Alpha Nut in 12th. I don't understand why his things are coming up in reds. It's like he's getting disqualified or the lap's taken off him or something. I don't know. Said it was a 2:31 and they're coming up in red, but there's Alpha Nut sitting in 12th position ahead of Skyjacker, who looks like he's just been into the pits. Noxie also pitted, and there we go. Matt Psycho's come in, and so has Kale, so has Racer Brown. So Gazman retakes the lead of the race. Is he one stopping? Is he one stopping? IR Graham isn't one stopping. Yeah, IR Graham, there's Homesick Alien. IR Graham coming. Elevate has moved up into 4th position with Little GG's into 5th. That really surprised me that IR Graham's got in. Jim One Wise up to 7th position. He will have to pit though. His fuel is really low behind him. No, Racer Brown's come out in 7th. So Racer Brown's pitted. That's him done now. That's got to be for the rest of this race. 11 minutes to go. IR Graham, I'm very surprised, pitted then. Unless he's behind his teammate now. So that'll be an interesting fight. He's on Super Soft, so maybe he hadn't run the Super Soft, so he had to pit. That is one very interesting thing to look at. But that's a fun looking battle there between the two Audis. Alpha Nut is in 11th. Still keeps coming up red on his last lap. I don't know. Something weird there, but it's his replay, so maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know, and it's confusing me, and it's probably something I should just ignore. The two Audis there behind Jim One Wise in 8th place. Jim One Wise holding fast. He did his best lap on his last lap at 209.357. So we'll have a quick look around the field. There we can see, looks like Liam Anfield ready to pounce on the Aston Martin, but he hasn't got the grunt to just get past him. But yeah, Jim One Wise really will be pitting. We'll have to pit at the end of this lap. So that will put him probably behind what, Alpha Nut, maybe Skyjacker. Oh, massive one, huge one. Who's that? Liam and Jim? Graham and Jim. Oh my, that was huge. I didn't even see what happened. It looked like Jim bounced off the curbs and into Graham. My gosh, Graham's not getting a break in this race. So there you can see Gazman. We've got 9 minutes to go left of this race. He's got plenty of fuel. The tyres look good. Cale there in 2nd place. He's got a homesick Alien quite close behind him. Did Alien pit? Alien may have done a quick dash, because Alien should have been 2nd, shouldn't he? So I'm not sure. No, Alien's pits. I think Cale just overtook him. Did he? No, maybe Cale was ahead of him and I'm getting myself confused. But homesick Alien there in 3rd. The two Nissans coming out on top here in the latter half of the race. Like I said, we're coming up to 8 minutes left. I don't think either Nissans need to pit again. Elevate there. He's still in that race with the Peugeots, but it's Matt Psycho now, not Lil GG. But they're both looking. Oh, it's like they're side by side behind him. Little Gigi's and Matt Psycho racing each other, but trying to get past the Beamer at the same time. There's some crazy stuff out there. So Little GG's has got ahead of his teammate Matt Psycho. They're trying to get past Elevate, but they're really struggling to do it. I'm just waiting because it feels like there's something going to happen. No, Elevate holds them off for a few more corners yet. They're all racing ahead of these guys as well. What a fantastic race. I can't believe we've only got 7 minutes left. I've not been able to watch half the racing. These guys back at the field here. So Racer Brown is in 7th. Look, Gazman has pitted. Gazman feels the need that he did have to pit. So Cale has taken over the lead of the race with only 7 minutes to go. Is that it? Is that the winner? We'll have to wait and see. That's really bizarre. I didn't think Gazman would have to come in again. Oh my lord, Cale has got himself a 2-second penalty. Homesick Alien is less than 2 seconds behind him. Is Homesick going to come through and take the win? We don't believe he has to pit either, but I didn't think Gazman had to pit. Little GG's has just got himself ahead of Elevate. Elevate struggling. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Elevate and Matt Psycho having a massive one. Elevate just carried on. Oh no, poor Matt Psycho. Racer Brown then up to 5th, Gazman 6th after his pit stop. Liam Anfield, oh Matt Psycho's right down to 9th. His car is totally mullered. Oh dear. Skyjacker, oh no, Skyjacker, that's Alpha. Same coloured car, but Skyjacker in 11th with a penalty. Shadow Rider there in 12th. Jim One Wise down in 13th after his pit stop, but he looks like he's going to make a move on Shadow Rider. in the Aston Martin. He's hunting him down. Shadow Rider is on the soft tyre, whereas Jim on Wise is on the super soft tyre, so he's looking to get away past. Noxie in 14th, ahead of the Toyota of Guesty and Jam Huntington, keeping up the rear of the field. So leading this race, Kale, that 2-second penalty is down to 8 tenths. It's a long lap. It's hard to not let those penalties drain down, but he's got one more corner, so he will have to pay at least 8 tenths of that, 5 tenths of that penalty, which is going to still help Homesick Alien. He's gone over. Oh, it looks like Homesick Alien. No. Oh, he's just trying to get a tow. And there you go. Homesick Alien now takes the lead of the race. Kale down to second. Under threat from Little GG's. Elevates is in 4th position. Racer Brown 5th. Gazman in 6th. Really, I think he didn't need to make that pit stop, but it's just my opinion. But he's found himself into 6th. Liam Anfield up to 7th. I.R. Graham 8th. 9th place for Alphanut. Matt Psycho, unfortunate, had a clash with Elevate. I think Elevate bounced off of the curbs and straight into Matt Psycho, and it kind of ruined Matt Psycho's race. We saw Alpha Skyjacker. Oh my god, what is it with those Lexuses? I can't call the right person in the right car. So Skyjacker, we saw him having early woes in this race. Shadow Rider still ahead of Jim One Wise, so Jim One Wise, I think not a lot of time left. Jim One Wise still going his fastest so far. Noxie in the Ford Mustang. It didn't look like the Ford Mustang liked St. Croix, in my opinion. 15th for Guesty and 16th for Jam Huntington. So up in the lead of this race we have Homesick Alien, but they're all in one shot. Eleanor Kale, the Logistical Nightmare Racing group. Oh, Homesick Alien making a mistake. Kale looking for a well pass, but Kale's got past. Homesick Alien looked like he had a wheel on the dirt, lost a bit of pace, and now Kale, for the HP Wheel a Deal team, has taken the lead with only 3 minutes left of racing. So that's this lap and the next lap. Or maybe more than that, I'm not sure, because he's just got to the line quite quickly. Look at this. Looks like Homesick Alien now is under threat. They're trying to grab each other's toe. They're over one side, they're over the other side. All 3 of them. My God. Who's going to win the race? With 2.5 minutes left, so yes, it's going to be another lap after this, definitely for these 3 guys. Racer Brown up to 4th. That's a great race for Racer Brown. Gazman in 5th. Whoa, Elevate's dropped right back. I'm not sure what happened to Elevate. Do we look? I guess we should. So, it was a while ago. Maybe we shouldn't have looked. Oh, it's ages ago. I don't know. I've just taken you back like 40 seconds into the race. I apologise. I don't know what happened to Elevate. I don't know why he's down in 8th there. So with us, we saw the end of that. So now we've seen how Homesick lost the lead. Little GG's we saw catching right up. Racer Brown, we'll have a quick look through them now. Gazman in 5th, Liam 6th. I.R. Graham in 7th, the Audis. It's good points. I imagine they were hoping for better out of it. Who won last week? Yes, Liam Anfield in the Audi dominated the whole field. So Elevate in 8th. We're not sure how he ended up back there. Alphanut in 9th under immense pressure from Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho trying to get past him off the road anywhere he can, but we've seen the Alphanut race and he is a tough cookie to get past, and I'm not going to start talking about biscuits, I promise. I just mean the saying, he's a tough cookie to get past. There we can see Matt Psycho looking for the inside line into the first corner. And is he going to make it stick? It looks like it. So Matt Psycho getting ahead of Alpha Nut, but not for certain, because Alpha Nut and the grunt of that Lexus staying with the Peugeot. Now Alpha is on the inside, and Alpha takes the lead, not the lead, but takes the position from Matt Psycho. So Matt Psycho and Alpha Nut fighting over 9th and 10th place. It's fantastic. Look at him. I would have thought Matt Psycho's head gone down after his earlier woes, but he's there. Every position counts. I want to cut away and have a look, and we're getting close to the end of this race. I'm getting ready for the pause button. I'll have a little sip. Sorry. It's thirsty work, this stuff, talking about computer games. Alright. Little GG's is ahead of Homesick Alien, but only just. So these two are in a battle. But it looks like Little GG's has managed to pull it off. Little GG's, ironically, I believe, finished in second place in the feature race last week. Yes, he did, second place, but ended up, like I said earlier in the race, being disqualified for not using 2 tyre compounds. So KO in the BMW. Last week we had the Audis win, and this week it looks like it's the Beamer. One more lap from Little GG's, KO and Homesick. Racer Brown gets to go across the line for its Rangers. Gasman also. Liam Anfield. IR Graham. I've got a good 15 seconds. Probably a lot of these will get across. Elevates in 8th, 9th, and 9th. Matt Psycho got ahead of Alpha, and they crossed the line. Pretty safe. For the last lap, it was a Skyjacker. His fuel's flashing. He'll be hoping that it changed to 40, and it has. So Skyjacker, the first of the finishers, down there in 11th place. Congratulations. Shadow Rider coming to the line in 12th, ahead of Jim on Wise. So better, a lot better race for Shadow Rider than last week. He'll be happy with that, I'm sure. Noxie bringing the Ford home in 14th, ahead of Guesty in the Toyota, and Jam Huntington there in 16th. So up ahead we've got Little GG's ahead, behind KO, and ahead of Homesick. Homesick's under pressure from Racer Brown now. My words, this race just won't finish, and Gasman, Homesick's teammate, just there in the background, but Racer Brown looking. Racer Brown up and got that final podium position, it looks like. My gosh, what a race that Racer Brown's had this race. Slowly, where did he start? Sorry, I'll have a quick look. 11th to 3rd. What a fantastic effort. It's not done yet, but we're watching KO. He's not quite at the finish line yet. Also, Gasman's got ahead of Homesick. Homesick's struggling. I think Homesick's having to fuel save, but Gasman and Homesick's, his tyres are a lot worse. So Gasman pitting wasn't a bad call in the end, after me saying. So KO, we're just about to watch go across the line, and look how close the finish was. Another lap, I think Little GG's might have been on him. So KO, brilliant win. GG's comes second. Racer Brown, fantastic third. Gasman 4th. Homesick Alien 5th. KO 6th. IR Graham 7th. So there's a few yet. I wasn't sure who's close to the line, and I didn't want it to finish. So Elevate going across in 8th. 9th for Matt Psycho, and then you can see Alpha Nut just there in the background, and that's where I'm going to pause it. Oh, nice shot. So that was 40 minutes of racing, and wow, what some fantastic racing that was. So big congratulations to Kale on the win for the BMW HP Wheel Deal team. Great race. Always there in the top 3, but the early pit stop seems to get him in a great position. You must say Kale does do some of the best strategies that I see. Little GG's, what a battler. He fought and fought and fought everyone. His own teammate Matt Psycho, Elevate. He's a racer, he is. Little GG's got himself up to second place. Fantastic finish. And third, that's a rubbish shot. That's your lot. His third is Racer Brown, the car on the right, the Toyota. And for me, he is my racer of the driver of the day. From 11th up to 3rd, that's some feat, I've got to say. So fantastic podium for Racer Brown. Gazman in 4th, led majority of the first part of the race. I honestly thought he had it covered, but he had to jump in the pits, and I didn't think it was the right move, but judging by how his teammate fell away in the last lap and a half, it was the right move. So great 4th position from Gazman. Homesick Alien in 5th. It looked like the wind was on. At one point, but I don't know. Look, just that tank was absolutely empty by the end. So, but 5th, still a great finish. The pair of Audis in 6th and 7th. Liam Anfield 6th. I.R. Graham in 7th. Fantastic racing we saw from them pair. Elevate in 8th. He's had some ding dongs, especially with Peugeots. So it was a race he'll probably not overly be happy. His fuel was really on the brink, unless maybe the replay doesn't show you what the fuel was. 9th position, the other Peugeot we saw, he was up there having a go, and then had a big bash, had a big ding dong with Elevate, which put him down the field. He got himself a few positions back to get 9th. Alpha Nut in 10th, ahead of his teammate Skyjacker. Just doesn't look like this track was for the Lexuses today. They did not perform as well as we've seen them do. So 10th and 11th, damage control maybe. 12th, Shadow Rider. After his dismal round 1, he must be pleased with his race. 13th, Jim One Wise in the Aston Martin. He was up into 7th during the pit stops. So, and his starting position was 15th, so he's moved up 2 places. It's great stuff. 14th for Noxie in the Mustang, the lead Ford Mustang. Guessed he was 15th, and Jam Huntington, rubbish view, and that's the only view. Jam Huntington showing us his bum. That's what he thinks at the moment. He's still trying to get used to the brand new wheel, and I'm sure as soon as it comes together, he will be racing for wins. So thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club for round 2 of the GTMC Season 3. I have got to say it was some fantastic racing. Loved every single minute of it, and all I have left to say, I can't find my sheet with the names on it, so I might have to end on one without a wacky name. I don't know, Lennon, do you know any joke names?
My cock's long.
That's just disgusting and rude. No, it's alright, too late. So yes, I was your commentator, Oliver Closeoff, and I will catch you next time. Thank you for viewing.